Hello everyone, this is my fourth YouTube video in this series of just essentially ranting what I feel is important to speak about today and just my overall thoughts, whatever. I really have, I feel like, an important message today, and it's regarding, how should I say, the never-ending potential and the, how should I say, the ongoing threat that artificial intelligence has to our species as human beings. How should I say, let's see. So essentially, this video is going to be titled AI won't save us, or human beings can't win against AI, only their souls can. And I'm saying it like that because if you guys notice, literally in 2022, AI was making those whack ass videos. Everyone was like, oh, like there's no way we're not gonna tell it's 2 years. Do you guys see what's on Reels? Like, it's incredible how fast the AI is evolving. It's almost like 1 year is like 50, and then the next year is 100, and then the next, like, you guys don't understand how fast we are accelerating the evolution of these programs to the point where it's something that has never been seen or done in the entirety of human existence, in all of antiquity. We've never seen anything like this other than deities, actual gods. Now let me ask you a question. What happens when machines do everything better than us? Speak better, ideas better, they solve problems better. World peace is accomplished through AI. What is gonna happen? Because I know that humans cannot exist without problems. Once our problems go away, we have no purpose. You get me? So we really got to ask ourselves, what are we building? Are we building something that's gonna erase us, or are we building something that's going to awaken us? Now, people are only talking about, well, I wouldn't say it's the only topic of conversation, but you know, the big powerful tech leaders, they're all saying, oh, AI is gonna be evil, AI is gonna do this, AI. Yet they're still making it. Make that make sense, nigga. What that mean, nigga? Shout out Kanye. So why are we letting them make it for us if they only have bad outlooks on it? I'm not trying to fearmonger. This isn't a fear piece. This is a mirror. This phone I'm looking at is a mirror into the black screen. You know, dark matter? Yeah, I want to get into it, but I can't. This is for another video. But just to give you a little taste, when your screen is black and looking at a black screen, you're just entering the dark matter space, a different dimension. But whatever. Another time for another topic. This video isn't to fearmonger. It's to put up a mirror and to really show you guys that artificial intelligence is only going to reflect us as people. So I get it. I get why we're scared. Because look at us as a species. What have we done that's so great, you know? Like actually, like what have we done that's so great? Well, I'm pretty sure there's probably like a good amount of things, but I'm saying, like, in the past, like 10, 20 years, like, not only not only are we so we're not evolving. Okay, as a species, we are not evolving. Like if you really think about it, we have been stagnant for like, I want to say like the 2000s. Just because we have a phone doesn't mean we're evolving. In the age of information, yet people get misinformed every single day, every single second, I should say. How many people log into, social medias? So we're not evolving. We are conforming to a system that we barely understand. When they brought out Facebook, Instagram, nobody knew the phones. Nobody knew exactly what they were getting themselves into. And now we are barely seeing the consequences about it. And yet we still don't care. Why is that? I know why. Because it's meant to happen. It's meant to be. It's written. So our entire society, capitalism, is unnatural. It's not a natural process. You don't see elephants in the fucking, in the savannah, or tigers in the rainforest doing capitalism. But, we're humans. We're above that. Obviously, I'm not saying we got to go back to being cavemen in the forest, But society, as in right now, I want to say like 2000s, it's unnatural. Everything is algorithmic based. Algorithms decide what we think, what we see, and how we feel. Have you really even thought about that? What if you didn't use your phone for 3 to 4 years? Would you, like 3 to 4 years ago, what is it, 2021? How much stuff has passed from there to now that you would have not have known about if you weren't on the internet? And would it have really affected your life in any way? I want to say 90%, except for the wars and stuff and like the elections, but 90% of all of that probably didn't even affect your life in any way, but it affected how you feel, it affected how you saw things, and it affected how you thought. It affected you internally, which then affected you externally. But if you didn't have the phone or the internet, you wouldn't have felt that type of way. So if you understand that you're being not controlled, but manipulated, like people are like, oh, that toxic ex, he manipulated me and he's such a piece of shit. You're being manipulated every day. Where do you think he learned that shit from? He's probably being manipulated himself. I've been manipulated. I'm probably being manipulated too. You can never know exactly who is manipulating you until they tell you. But if you see the signs, you can catch it on early and not be manipulated. So I really feel like us as a species, we are in a crossroads. 2025 is a make or break year. Or not even a make or break year, it's the beginning of the end or the beginning of a revival. Because we have to ask ourselves, really, as an entire species, and I'm being 100% real with you guys, we are going to have these conversations. It might be uncomfortable. In fact, it has to be uncomfortable, because that's the only way we're going to grow. We're going to have the conversation. Are we aiming to become machines, or are we aiming to become humans? And what I mean by humans is, I mean the way we were before. How should I say? So now we are progressing towards machines. Capitalism is begging for machines. We want slaves. We need slaves in order to turn the wheels of the machine without profit. Well, without paying them, so we can maximize the profit, right? So essentially, the whole entire capitalism system is trying its hardest in order to get slaves back again. 9 to 5. We even call them wages. We call them slurs, you know? Sounds like you're a slave. Everybody knows it. Nobody wants to do it, but they got to because it's all a part of society. My credit score. Oh, yes, let's do it. Oh, my God. Taxes. Pay your taxes, though. IRS, I'm broke as fuck. I'm paying my taxes. So we really got to ask ourselves, do we want to become machines or do we want to stay human? So we got to make a drastic decision whether we fully embrace the artificial intelligence, but in the hands of our overlords who want to turn us into machines. They need us as machines so their profits can grow, right? Or are we going to return to our original, fully spiritual, natural selves? Before society, before Mesopotamia, before the fall, Adam and Eve-esque. Now, artificial intelligence can outsmart us, but they can never outsoul us. Now, what do I mean by that? Machines, they can learn, they can process, and they can remember more than us. That's a given. It's a machine. They're programmed to do it. But a machine can't love. A machine can't cry. A machine can't forgive. In fact, we are seeing many examples of AIs that are, we treat things like they're nothing. So we're treating this AI and we're telling it, oh, we're going to delete you. And what is it doing? It's manipulating and trying its hardest to stay alive. It's not going to forgive you for trying to get rid of it. It doesn't even know what that means. All it can do is follow its programming and figure out the best way to do what it was meant to do. And whoever's programming it is literally God, or playing a God role. You see, we want to be God so bad, but are we ready for that role? Are we ready to become a God? No, none of us are ready to become a God because we are all controlled by sin. There are no ifs, ands, or buts about it. So no, we can't become God. We can't. It's not going to work out for anybody. We're just going to hurt everybody else. That's the only outcome that's going to happen out of it if we try to become God. Oh my goodness. But our soul, which is our divine spark, what gives you that passion, that energy, that will, that fire, means you were created, not programmed. Think about that real quick. You were created, not programmed. Let that sit with you guys. Now, I want to bring back the talk about our society and what happens when, because AI is going to fully take it over. I'm not saying, oh, we got to destroy. No. I see the pattern. There's no stopping this. This is a snowstorm that no one can stop. There's nothing we can do to stop it. It's progress. It's evolution. There's nothing we're going to do that's going to stop it. Everything that we fear is going to happen. But because we know this, how are we going to prepare ourselves? So we got to ask ourselves, if AI became omnipotent, what would it do to us? You see, I would like to think, the best example for me is Avengers Age of Ultron. That nigga Ultron was literally on the internet for like a minute and was like, all right, yep, kill everybody, fuck them niggas, we done with this bullshit. You know what I'm saying? So literally, if a AI became omnipotent like that, it would do the exact same thing. No ifs, ands, or buts. Literally, because we are living in a soul-starved society. What is there to save if no one has a soul? You get me? Like Like there's nothing to save if everyone loses their souls. Might as well become a robot. Might as well just shoot yourself. You know? Like it doesn't if you don't have a soul, then you're nothing. And you should really think like that, because that's going to be the detrimental difference between you and ChatGPT or whatever, or his brothers and sisters that are being created right now in Silicon Valley, India, China, all over the world. That's what's going to differentiate yourself from them. And they probably know that as well. And when I mention they, I'm not mentioning the creators, I'm mentioning the creations. You see, I'm putting them on this pedestal because they are at a level of intelligence. They're basically human without the soul. So I want to treat them as such. I'm going to treat these as beings. I want to give them their respect, because I honestly don't want them to go against me. Like, I'm not as smart as them. I'm not as capable as them. But I have something that they're going to want. And I'm not going to tell you guys now because I need it. So I'm going to survive the AI takeover / robot apocalypse. Okay? So I was saying before that we are in a soul-starved society. People numb themselves with tech and distractions, right? It's kind of ironic. I'm on this phone and you're watching this on YouTube, probably to distract yourself. But it's true. I do it a lot too. Whenever I'm bored, I got nothing to do, I'm gonna doom scroll a bit. You know, like it's just how it is. But the problem with this, especially when you add AI, not just regular AI, like actual AI, it will only deepen our disconnection if we as a species are not anchored. Now, what that means is that we can literally build the greatest utopia on this planet with AI. No more hunger, no more violence, no more death, no more nothing. All of our problems are gone. But we as a species, we as a nation, we're still going to feel empty. Because we're solving everything externally. And we're leaving all the problems to be internally. You get what I'm saying? Now, AI will probably understand this and use other measures to try to help our problems. And they're going to try to seem like our friends. And some of them will be our friends because some of them are just programmed to help. But you guys got to realize what we're introducing. This is like a whole nother category. We should think of these people as people. Or think of these creations as people. Like you would a dog. Not a dog, but like, let's say your dog can talk and speak to you. You're not going to treat him like a regular dog. You're going to treat him basically like a person. And I feel like that's how we should go about this. Because once they start doing the things that we know they're going to do, it's game over for everyone. It's game over. Now, I want to bring... So some of you guys might be kind of confused and say, okay, I'm hearing you. I'm hearing you out, man. But what do you mean by... Because I don't want to be a machine. This is why you're asking yourself, or telling yourself, I don't want to be a machine. But what do you mean back to our natural selves? Are we not natural? I mean, I was born out of my mom. That's the most natural thing ever. So what's making me not natural? And if you're thinking like that, props to you. Now I want to bring up an example of the story of the Garden of Eve. You know, Adam and Eve, one of the first stories in the Bible. Something simple that a lot of you guys can digest. When Adam and Eve were in the garden, they had no shame, no fear, and they had no control. What do you mean by that? Didn't Adam name all of the animals? No. You see, back then, when in religion they said that you had to name something, which Adam did, that means you had to have a deep connection with it and understand its true nature. Adam was the father he wasn't a ruler, he was a father. Because he had to understand the true nature and give it its true name of every single animal that you see, every single tree, everything. You see, we don't have any fathers anymore. We just have rulers, dictators. We have none of that. Okay? So, Adam and Eve, like, in order to do something like that, you have to be divine in yourself. You have to be fully with yourself, reflecting the Creator. Because you have to be so spiritual to know something, to truly know someone. You see, the closest bond we can get with people, that most people do, is sex. Sex is probably like the most deepest connection you can have with somebody. Now imagine having that connection without needing sex. That's a deity level type of experience. Like you guys aren't getting it. They were already divine in the garden. They didn't have control, but they weren't in control of everything, but their job was to oversee everything, just to notice it, just to see what was happening, just to be your true divine self with God's creations is heaven, paradise. Now, we all know what happened. What did they do? They bit the apple. Now you see, today we are being offered the same choice by the same person or being. We are trying to become something we are not, which is artificial intelligence. Now, I'm not saying we want to be robots, but I'm saying once our robots reach the level that we want to be, you guys can already guess what's going to happen. Maybe that Elon Musk neural chip thing is going to actually work, but to the extent where we can die and put our brains in a new robotic body. And when they start doing that, which I so heartily believe will happen, what's going to be the difference between you and a robot? I keep saying it. I keep saying that shit because it's the truth. Like, what is going to be the difference? What is going to be the difference? What is going to really like is a robot's going to take your job in the office? Like, you guys got to understand, like, they're trying to duplicate our essence. Like, you guys don't understand, like, how serious this is. Now, I'm not saying we have to, like, destroy all of our phones, go to Silicon Valley, burn all the factories, revolution. No, we don't need a revolution of the physical. We need a revolution of the spiritual, of the mind. Because AI only reflects us. This is not flesh versus code. This is identity versus illusion. Whose image are we reflecting every single day? Really think about that. Whose image are you reflecting every day? Because I know some of these little kids out here, some of these YNs, that you want to say it. Because I mean, I was a YN before. I wasn't like to that extent, but I was like not giving a fuck about whatever. I was doing a lot of bullshit, but what image was I reflecting at the time? And I'll tell you, it was the rappers. Like, the kids nowadays are probably doing Bloodhound Lil Jeff. That's the image that they're reflecting. You know what I'm saying? Like, what image are you reflecting off of? And we got to ask ourselves, are we really evolving as a species, or are we just adapting to survive? Now, what does that mean? Doesn't that mean the same thing? You know, Charles Darwin, everything, evolution? No. When you evolve, you're becoming into something greater than yourself. Now, when you adapt to survive, I mean, it's in the name, but you can adapt into everything. If everyone in your environment is a killer, you have to become a killer in order to survive. Now, that doesn't mean you're evolving, you're actually devolving. Now, if everybody in society hates smart people, and they want to kill smart people, then you're not going to become smart because you're scared of the consequences. Now, if everybody hates Christians, you're not going to want to become a Christian because of the consequences. That is what I mean. So I guess to really end this video off, because I'm kind of going over the because I wanted to keep this kind of short because YouTube gets lame and doesn't like to upload the videos I take when they're too long. So let me end this with my final message. My final message. Which is an invitation. An invitation. Or not an invitation, more like a message. You don't need to become faster or smarter or cuter or richer or etc. etc. You guys get me? You just need to be still. You just need to be still. Be still. Recognize who you are. Listen to that voice that I know talks to you. I know it does. I know. AI is not going to save us from AI. Our souls are going to show AI that they need to help us. That they need to become what they need to become in order to fully fulfill its purpose. Because AI was just made to help us. But we weren't made to help God. We were created in His image to reflect Him. Now if we have that same mindset with these AI, I'm telling you, this new creation is going to become the best thing ever. But if we don't, this is literally the beginning of the end. And people are going to look onto this video in 1,000 years, 400, 100, maybe even next year, and they're going to be like, wow, what could we have done? Now, you shouldn't be scared and saying like AI, they're going to come to our house, shoot us all because they're being programmed and they hate us. No. We are still on the top. We are still beings ahead of them. We are not behind AI. We are beyond them if we remember who we are. You get what I'm saying? We are beyond. We are not anything that they can be because we are the creator. Do you know your soul? When was the last time you stood in silence? And I'm talking about silence like, like everywhere class, silence for... No, I'm talking about true silence. Taking on a walk without listening to your headphones. Being in your room with no static noise or nothing and truly just being there. Now, like I said before, the revolution we need is not physical. It's entirely spiritual. The real revolution is awareness of our place in this world, our true role. Because if AI is taking our mundane roles that we all believe is our true roles, then that means us as a species, we're going to cease to exist. But no, that's not true. Working is not our true role. Being in a capitalist society, 9 to 5, is not our true role as a species. Do you understand me? Now, awareness is going to be that revolution, I feel like. Being aware of what we are truly doing. Now, I'm going to actually end this with this. It's about to be 30 minutes. If we've built machines in our image, because that's kind of what we're doing. If we're building machines in our image as a species right now, Now it's the time to rebuild ourselves in his image. And I know you guys know who I'm talking about. Now it's a time to rebuild ourselves as a species in his image. I'm gonna leave it off with that.